My interest in Modern Warfare the last couple of days has been renewed. Not necessarily that it's gone away at any point, but more so because there wasn't anything to talk about. It was kind of out of sight, out of mind. But when new content drops here for Modern Warfare, it always gets me wondering why this game is treated like any other Call of Duty game post-launch when realistically it's not. Today I want to take a little bit of time to discuss why I think Modern Warfare is being a little underutilized. As we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you guys think that Modern Warfare should get new content? Do you want to see new content? And I guess as well, would you guys like to see more Modern Warfare content in the future here on the channel? We take a look at different areas of the game and not necessarily just new content. Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare, COD 2021, Warzone, anything COD related. We'll keep you up to date with all of it. And finally, my friends over at Gamer Advantage are running an awesome deal here for the holiday weekend. If you're interested in learning more, check the link in the description below, but more on them in a little bit. Anyways, let's talk about Modern Warfare. So today's a Thursday, and normally we'd be doing an update video of some sorts, right? Well, there wasn't a whole lot that changed really at all. Sala, the new operator, was introduced yesterday. The playlist changed for Cold War and Warzone, but the one that I'm most excited for here is that of buyback quads for Warzone. That's a personal favorite of mine. One that I kind of wish they'd bring back more than once every 6 months or so, but I'll absolutely be grinding that out. But other than that, it's an incredibly boring week for COD per se, except for, well, Modern Warfare, because as we mentioned 2 days ago, the two maps that were removed in April of Al Rob Air Base and Drainage both returned. That rollout was seemingly staggered a bit. I didn't see them at first. There was a message of the day that popped up before other players got it as well that should be there now for many, and for a lot though, the maps still actually aren't in the private match rotation, but are there in the public match rotation. So they're there, but even as of later that night, overnight even, we saw Infinity Ward publicly acknowledge that these were introduced and that Al Rob Air Base Mosh Pit was introduced into the featured playlists. So just like nothing happened really, no promotion really or nothing at all, but instead we saw the return of some more content that was pulled a few months back. Now, while I'm excited to jump into new maps for Modern Warfare in a time when Cold War and Warzone are kind of just coasting, it got me thinking a little bit. Why is this game treated the same as other games out of their main year of support, and in some cases potentially worse than other games out of their main year support, when this game is entirely different? The game that always comes to my mind when I think about post-launch support that I think did it very well was Call of Duty World War II. That game was still seeing content and weapon introductions well into mid-2019, closer to even later 2019, roughly 10 to 11 months into Black Ops 4's main lifecycle after World War II's main year. But the game was also still seeing playlist updates and everything up until October of this past year. But here's the thing. Post-launch support isn't some crazy idea anymore, and it's kind of something we've seen every single year, at least since Call of Duty World War II, and a little bit before that. I'd consider it relatively commonplace at this point, but why is Modern Warfare seen so little by comparison? I engaged with this discussion a little bit over on Twitter and in the comments with some people the other day, and it's truly perplexing to me that we have some continual support for games in the past after their time is technically done, but with Modern Warfare, again, it's an entirely different game. And for that perspective, I mean that the player counts, I would wager they are astronomically higher post-main year of support than any other Call of Duty game outside of their main year of support. And yes, that's likely thanks to the free-to-play nature of Warzone converting many players into the main title, but when you consider these numbers, you'll see exactly what I mean in statistical data in regards to it's not just another Call of Duty game. Your most selling Call of Duty games before Modern Warfare of 2019 was Black Ops 1 in 2010 with nearly 31 million copies sold, Modern Warfare 3 in 2011 with again nearly 31 million copies sold, both being only 10,000 copies off of tying each other and both being under 30,000 away from that 31 million copy milestone. But then you had Black Ops 2 in 2012 with 29.5 million copies sold. Surprisingly, Call of Duty Ghosts was the next with 28.8 million copies sold in 2013, and Black Ops 3 rounds out that top 5 in 2015 with 26.7 million copies sold. The closest out of the new era of Call of Duty, if you want to call it that, of like the last 4 to 5 years before Modern Warfare was in 8th place, that being Call of Duty World War II with the sales numbers of 19.82 million. Infinite Warfare wasn't on the list, Black Ops 4 not on the list, and even reportedly selling the least amount of copies in the franchise history, noted at only 3.5 million copies according to Statista. But Modern Warfare, while specific numbers are quite hard to find, it was up there with the best of them pre-Warzone, but not quite at the top. The only relevant numbers that were officially stated and tossed out there were sales figures in terms of revenues, where it was said that Modern Warfare made 600 million in the first 3 days, which is the highest that we've seen in a long time for sure. But when you look at Prime COD, Black Ops 2 sold 500 million in the first 24 hours. But again, Warzone came in and changed everything, because with integration and the ability to rank up weapons faster in the premium game, what has been reported officially is that post-Warzone, Modern Warfare is now the most selling Call of Duty of all time. No reported numbers or specific totals are out there publicly, but that confirms that over 31 million copies have been sold, meaning that it beats out Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 1 as that top-selling Call of Duty of all time, but by what margin, we don't know. It could be 31.1 million, or it could be well above 35, 40, 45, 50 million and up. Those conversions are never officially stated, but with Warzone seeing over 100 million unique users since its launch, I would imagine the conversion is at least on par with, if not better than that 10% to push it well over the max numbers we've seen. So assuming that, it's a fair assessment to consider that Modern Warfare has the most active user base after the main year of support that we've ever seen in Call of Duty, right? I mean, especially in recent years when each title was projected kind of on a downward trend overall in users. So assuming that, why have we only seen Kill House, Al Rob Airbase, Drainage, Sparks, and the Psychov among a few other smaller bundles that included some customization that we had seen months and months ago beforehand teased? Point being, while I fully acknowledge that the game is out of its main year of content and the spotlight isn't quite on there anymore, other games get something. Why would there not be an attempt to please both players on the sides of the aisle when it comes to content? I know that some people love Modern Warfare and hate Cold War, and vice versa. So with the total active player numbers likely closer than ever before from an older game, air quotes, to the new current game, it's surprising to me that DLC wasn't introduced on both ends of the spectrum, especially given the whole rank connection thing where you have the same rank in Modern Warfare, in Warzone, and in Black Ops Cold War. That'd be such a great way to put skins in for battle passes or something to earn in both premium titles, instead of just one thing kind of being for Warzone, and if you don't play Warzone, you're kind of SOL. And like, I get the main rebuttal for this is pretty easy. Well, Jordan, they're working on their next project, likely that Modern Warfare 2 coming in 2022. And that's absolutely true, but I don't think that anyone expects full resources on the game. Just a small team that can churn out a few updates or content for players still on the game every month or two with maybe a new weapon or two or a map or two here and there. I don't think anybody really expects a full-blown Season 7, 8, 9, 10 for Modern Warfare, but at least something would be pretty cool. I mean, when you consider World War II again, coming back to that, circling back to the original discussion of post-launch content, there are more updates to that game post-launch than there are individual pieces of content that have been introduced out of the main year of support for Modern Warfare since Black Ops Cold War released. And with each update here for World War II back then, including at least 2, 3, 4 items, that's kind of surprising to me that we, again, have the highest that Call of Duty has ever been, and the game that put it there is kind of just laying dormant and not really much is being done with it. So while I guess this video just kind of turned into a regular discussion, and I guess compared to other videos doesn't have a true endpoint or something like that, I just wanted to kind of discuss this with you guys. What do you think? Do you think that Modern Warfare should get some more content here? I mean, the funny thing is that there is so much stuff in the game files that was cut, that was started, didn't really quite make it, that it's not even like they have to start over from the very beginning or scratch on some things. If you guys remember back, we talked about here on the channel a couple of times that there's a ton of content that was data mined even before the launch of Modern Warfare that just never made it to the game. A handful of maps that never quite made it into Modern Warfare's multiplayer experience, a couple of operators that were just entirely cut and never made it as well, and again, weapons could likely be something that could be worked on with a relatively smaller team and not using the entire studio resources to put a couple in here and there. So I guess my question comes down to, what do you think of this? Do you think that Modern Warfare should be getting more content alongside Black Ops Cold War? Because personally, I do. But before we wrap up the video here, I want to talk to you guys about my friends over at Gamer Advantage who have a really awesome deal going on right now. For those in the States, you know the 4th of July is coming up here at this, but from now until July 5th, there's a $17.76 discount, which is about 20% off of all of their elite bundles on their site. But my code Espresso, which gets you 10% off, can stack on top of that. So essentially, if you want to pick up one of these bundles, it's about 30% off. That makes it as good a time as any to pick up one of these. But again, as I've talked about many times, I've raved about these guys for ages. I truly think they are the best blue light glasses company out there on the market. So if you guys want to protect your eyes a little further while also scoring some of the best pricing here on that you can get in recent times, Head on over to the link in the description below if you guys want to learn more or potentially even pick something up. And if you do, make sure you use code Espresso to get that full discount. But that's where we're going to wrap it up. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. What do you think of this here? Are you hoping we see more Modern Warfare content? Do you think the game deserves more content, or maybe not so much? If you enjoyed the video though, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Call of Duty, whether that be Modern Warfare, Warzone, COD 2021, you name it, we got you covered. So if you guys are interested in any of that, hit the subscribe button. If you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with my side on YouTube. Practice on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.